Hi. Happy day. Oh, happy day. Fifth commandment. You know what this one is. Let's get rolling. But first, this funny joke. Recent survey revealed 6 out of 7 dwarfs aren't happy. Disney fans will appreciate that one. Thou shalt not kill, fifth commandment. All right. Human life is sacred because from its beginning it involves the creative action of God and it remains forever in a special relationship with the Creator, who is its sole end. God alone is the Lord of life from its beginning until its end. No one can, under any circumstances, claim for himself the right directly to destroy an innocent human being. You can never claim the right to kill anybody. God is the author of life. Thou shalt not kill. Fifth commandment. Now, this covers a lot of areas of morality, but we're not actually in school, and that's it. So we're going to cover the fifth commandment over 2 lessons. Today, we're going to cover self-defense, abortion, and the death penalty. And we'll cover 2 more topics on the next lesson to be completed this week. The bell ringer for this lesson is going to be on Edpuzzle. You're going to get some pro-life TikToks to look at, and you're going to get something a little bit deeper on Pope Francis and the death penalty and what he's doing with that. So, get your thinking caps on, and let's get rolling. Is it ever justifiable, though, to take somebody's life? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, sometimes you just gotta you go to war, you kill somebody, right? Is a soldier guilty for killing somebody and breaking the fifth commandment? Maybe, maybe not. It all depends. Love towards oneself remains a fundamental principle of morality. So it is legitimate to insist on respect for one's own right to life. Someone who defends his life is not guilty of murder, is not guilty of breaking this commandment, even if he is forced to deal his aggressor a lethal blow. So you can kill somebody and not be convicted or guilty of murder. Excuse the yawn. You're simply trying to defend yourself. You're standing up for yourself. You have a right to life. If someone is threatening your life, you then have a right to defend yourself. So this would mean that if a soldier kills somebody in battle, it would be because that person, that country, that army is threatening the lives or the livelihood significantly of everybody else. All right. If a man in self-defense uses more than necessary violence, it would be unlawful. Whereas if he repeals force with moderation, his defense will be lawful. What that's saying right there is, yes, you have a right to defend your life, but let's put it this way. 2 high school boys, 2 college boys, 2 idiots in a bar get in a fight, and it becomes like a full-on fist fight altercation. The implication in that, I'm willing to bet most instances, is that one of the persons or somebody has an altercation, the goal is to simply send a message and walk away, to make your point and walk away. So they throw down. And a lot of times it's understood that we're going to take our anger at each other out physically, and then we're gonna see who comes out stronger. Obviously not effective, but that being beside the point, if in a regular fist fight between 2 high school boys, we'll say, girls fight too. One guy pulls out a knife and just stabs the other person in the core, in the heart. Like, whoa. You can't claim self-defense because the other person didn't have a weapon. The other person was not really going to kill you. Now, if If the other person's got you choked and is like trying to squeeze the breath out of you, that's a factor. And then you reach into your pocket and then you whatever. There's a million scenarios that I know all you guys right now are trying to come up with the scenario where what if he does this? That's the fun we would have if we were in school. Right now, you just have to imagine it. Okay, if you're being more violent than necessary, you're guilty. Well, how do you know how violent to be? As soon as you control the other person, you have them in a chokehold or whatever, you got them in handcuffs, you got to stop hitting them. There was this woman, like, I don't know, like 7, 8 years ago, who had a big trial, got a lot of media attention because her physically abusive boyfriend uh, went after her one day and she let him have it. She stabbed him like 35 times. She got a pretty heavy prison sentence. Over the top. All right. Okay. So you can kill in the case of self-defense, but what about is a baby threatening a person's life? 99.9% of the time, no. But yes, there are those complicated pregnancies. When it is a healthy pregnancy, and the woman has an abortion, terminates the life of the child, that of course is a major offense against the fifth commandment. A lot of you know this, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Most of you are very pro-life, so I'm just going to give you some bullet points that you might even already know. Excuse me, yawn. Need more coffee. Human life must be respected and protected absolutely from the moment of conception. From the first moment of his existence, a human being must be recognized as having the rights of a person, among which is the inviolable right of every innocent being to life. From the moment of conception, from the moment the sperm meets the egg, you have all the 46 chromosomes, you have the DNA structure, you have a very unique being that will, once implanted in the uterus, will begin to grow all by itself. It is alive. It's living what? A living human being. So we find our identity from that moment, the church states categorically and definitively. Since the first century, the church has affirmed the moral evil of every procured abortion. This teaching has not changed and remains unchangeable. There's never, we're going to talk about the death penalty real soon. We're going to see how that teaching has changed. The church, as we progress as human beings, the church is willing and able to change a lot of things. This is not one of them. Direct abortion, willed either as an end or a means, is gravely contrary to the moral law. In no cases is it okay to take the life of an innocent child. From a legal standpoint, this was legalized in the United States of America on January 22nd, 1973. Make sure you got that date. I don't know if my face is blocking it out, the year. January 22nd, 1973, the Supreme Court passes Roe versus Wade, where Jane Roe, teenager in Texas, it was ruled that she had a right to end her pregnancy, which was a perfectly normal and healthy one. Jane Roe would later on convert to Catholicism and spend much of her life praying in reparation uh, for the sin of abortion. All right, so that's abortion. Most of you are familiar with that. We're going to move on. Our second topic of the day is going to be the death penalty. All right. My experience is at Turling's about 95% of you are pro-life. When it comes to the death penalty, about 60% of you, in my experience, are pro-death. No, it's tough to see. I'll let you know. It's on one of your Ed puzzle questions, but it's as much more. Y'all have much more differing opinions on this matter. This is from the Catechism. Punishment in general, whenever you punish somebody, a criminal, it has the primary aim of redressing the disorder. Okay? It's very important. When I punish my kids for not listening to mommy and daddy, if I say don't touch that and they touch it, when I punish them for not listening, it's got to help them. It's supposed to help them learn. So one thing that we did when Isaac turned 1 year old is if he had a heavy toy and he tried to throw the toy and we told him no, we tell him once and he does it again, he just loses that toy for about 24 hours, you know, and then he cries and he's sad. But the punishment is is going to resonate. You're not using this toy right, so you lose it, and that fixes it. We've almost never, possibly never, had to take the same toy away twice. When it is willingly accepted by the guilty party, it assumes the value of expiation. So if a person says, yes, I'm guilty, I'll take that punishment, I hope it works. Like when a person pays the punishment, it's understood to be a clean slate after that. Punishment, then, in addition to defending public order and protecting people's safety, has a medicinal purpose. You want to include that in your notes. Medicinal, Medicinal. It's supposed to be medicine. You're supposed to fix the person. It must contribute to the correction of the guilty party. That is the ideal. That is the goal. To fix the person. So if you are suing somebody, if you and you want them to go to jail, it's got to be so that it fixes them. Does our prison system fix people? I don't know. That's not for me to judge. All I know is that a punishment should, of course, hurt a little bit, but even the hurt should allow for a greater conversion on the part of the guilty person. Now, the catechism doesn't change very often, but when it comes to this topic, it's been changed twice. Pope Francis changed it about a year or two ago when he rewrote paragraph 2267 of the catechism. All right, going to break it down. Recourse to the death penalty on the part of legitimate authority following a fair trial was long considered an appropriate response to the gravity of certain crimes and an acceptable, albeit extreme, means of safeguarding the common good. So, what that's saying is the church recognizes that in her history she has approved and allowed the death penalty. And the vast number of civilizations going way back to the thousands and thousands of years BC allowed for the death penalty. Today, 2020, there is an increasing awareness of the dignity of the person that is not lost even after the commission of very serious crimes. In addition, a new understanding has emerged of the significance of penal sanctions imposed by the state. Lastly, more effective systems of detention have been developed, which ensure the due process of citizens, but at the same time do not definitively deprive the person of the possibility of redemption. Deprive the guilty person. Well, okay, so there's three reasons the Pope gives. I underlined two of them. Three reasons why the death penalty should not be happening anymore is one, we have a better understanding that the person's dignity is not lost even after they commit a crime. Dignity of the person, number one. Number two, he says, I don't have this underlined, a new understanding has emerged of the significance of penal sanctions imposed by the state. He doesn't explain that. I could use an explanation personally, so I didn't underline it. But as I've had many students research this project, this moral topic over the years, many students recognize that many studies that show in the states that still have the death penalty, it does not decrease crime at all. In other words, when a criminal sets out to commit a crime, he's not going to stop and say, oh, I would get the death penalty for that. I don't think I'm going to do that. It doesn't have that effect. Criminals are going to try to do it no matter what, if they're that intent on killing somebody. I think that's what that means. Lastly, we have better prisons, maybe not the quality of people in them, but what we have is, because of our technology, we have many ways of locking somebody up for the rest of their life, giving them time to convert, giving them time to say they're sorry, giving them time to turn to Jesus, as much time as Jesus would allow. And since we have that in the developed world, there's all the less of a reason to actually kill somebody or use the death penalty. And therefore, we're offering them more time at redemption. Okay, so that's the big explanation from Francis, and then he has this big word following that. Consequently, the church teaches in the light of the gospel that the death penalty is inadmissible because it is an attack on the inviolability of the dignity of the person, and she works with determination for its abolition worldwide. The church's goal is that death penalty is no longer used in today's society for reasons I just stated. And that was the new teaching of Pope Francis. We're going to cover other difficult topics involving life and death next lesson. From Burbridge, Louisiana, this is Mr. John Paoletti. God bless.